Good afternoon everybody, I hope you're all well. My original plan for today's venue would have been to get one of my normal early starts and get there for 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I would have fished the tide completely up to the top and then probably 2 or 3 hours down. But as you can see, the weather has took a drastic change, or for the better I suppose. We've got really hot bright sunshine today, and so when I was looking at the forecast yesterday I decided it might give me a better chance if I leave it a little bit later, maybe arrive just after lunchtime and fish the tide from the top straight down to the bottom and up another couple of hours. Say when I got up this morning it was even brighter and hotter than they forecast yesterday, so what I've decided to do is I'm leaving now sort of lunchtime, 12:30, and destination today is going to be Shingle Street in Suffolk. So journey time is the thick end of 2 hours. It's around about 55-60 miles. Now, it wouldn't normally take that long, but there's several road closures and diversions in place which are going to slow the journey down a little bit. So again, going back to the forecast, they're actually showing slightly cooler temperatures on the coast down there at Shingle Street, and they've had like a maximum of 17, but more likely to be 14 and 15 degrees with sea mist this morning. So in a way it's fingers crossed that we get that, because that'll make fishing a lot more comfortable. I don't like fishing in boiling hot weather. It's a question now of heading down. I'm on my way now to Beccles. Once I get to Beccles I'll then cut through and end up at Blythburgh, join the A12 there. Then there's quite a portion of the journey will be on the A12 down almost as far as Woodbridge, where I'll turn off and go back onto the B roads and continue on down to Shingle Street. So the other thing I hope to do today is, last year I was lucky enough to win one of these Facebook giveaways, and it's for a product called a bait capsule, and they're manufactured by a guy local to Suffolk, I believe, Roger Rackham. You can find all his details on Facebook, because he produces and sells these along with a selection of rigs as well to go with the capsule, so the dongle rigs, etc. Plus I think he does other rigs as well. So I'll leave the link in the description, and that way you can have a look. But the plan is today I will run through how to set one up and use one. So literally a couple more bends and we'll be heading towards the Shingle. You should see it in front piled up, and then we'll follow the road round and I'll take you to the first car park, which is the one on the map marked alternative car park. As we go around this bend now we should get a glimpse of the Shingle. And there it is. So you've got a lot of people dog walking and stuff around here as well, so you have to be a bit cautious. Right, so as we just go around this bend here, see a few cars parked on the side, but just in front there on the left, that's the alternative car park. You can park there, head left over the Shingle, and then you can start fishing just over there. I personally prefer to carry on to the next car park, which is down by the Mackerel Tower. There's a little bit more room down here, and it also gives you access to the main bay of the Shingle bank. So there's a little bit of parking here on the right. I've parked there before, no problem at all, but this area here is what they call the main car parking area. I should just go up and park next to that car there. It is free, it's all free parking down this end, so that's a bonus. There we are. So this is the main car park, and it's down by that Mackerel Tower over there, which is one of the landmarks. Plenty of parking spaces. There's actually a phone box there. I don't know if that's still in operation, but and then we're going to have a quick look on the beach, which is literally just through there. So we'll have a wander down, give her a stretch of her legs. It's been nearly 2 hours, so yeah, straight through here and we'll be on the beach. Okay, so I've just walked across there from where that house is with a flag. It's just 2 or 3 minutes across the Shingle, and this is the bay of Shingle Street. So just around that corner over there is Bordsey, or East Lane, and yeah, there's a couple of people up there fishing, and that's probably where I would head normally. But bearing in mind it's so hot and I've got the dog with me, I'm probably going to just plonk over here, to be fair. I don't think it makes too much difference. As you can see, you've got a massive expanse of Shingle. We're about an hour down from high tide now, so it'll be a question of now fishing it down to the bottom. Thankfully here we have got a lovely cooling breeze, so that's going to help. Right, I think I'll get back to the car now, get some gear, get over here and get set up. If I can get her away from the edge, she'll be sniffing around for all little bits of squid and everything. So first job was to get the old shelter up, so we can get the old furry friend nice and settled in the shade. Nice bit of breeze blowing in the front of here as well, and she's got water there and snacks and food. She's got her food for later on, so she's happy. She had a wander around. There's nothing much really here she can pick up, so I'm quite happy to leave her off the lead. Right, moving on to the baits for this session. As you can see, I've got the normal squid and mackerel fillets. I've also added to that some king prawns, just in case the odd hound is about. They'll take those. And I've also managed to pick up what was probably the biggest herring I've ever seen. And that was a part of an online bait order I did, and they were packs of 2. I'm expecting them to be about 8 inches long. And it's probably 14 or 15 inches long, that herring, but there you go. That'll still fill it up okay. And I've also got 3 or 4 fresh peelers, which were gifted to me after the match the other night, so I might give them a go as well. We'll see how things go. Right, so as I mentioned to you earlier, I want to try these out today, and these are what I call bait capsules. And these have been designed and made by a local angler called Rackham, and I was lucky enough to be gifted a set of these in one of these like and share competitions on Facebook. So the principle behind this bait capsule is I'm going to be fishing it on a rig that's been recommended to me by someone who's used them before, but I'm going to basically have it on a fixed running link with a swivel here for your hook link and a swivel to attach it to your snood. Then what you can do, once you've got your bait on a 4, 5, 6, whatever length hook link you want. So once you've baited your hook, either on a dongle or a normal bound up with elastic hook, bait goes inside there, push it down to the bottom. The rest of the line can then form a massive great loop, come back to where the swivel and bead will be there. The idea is you can launch that out. It's streamlined, aerodynamic. This one's a 5 ounce and it is the standard version, which is a bigger diameter. They also do the match version, which is slightly smaller, so smaller match style baits and maybe a bit more distance, I don't know. So the rig I've been recommended to use with this is literally a bead. There's a little Gemini link there covered with a rubber sleeve, a bead and a swivel. That's where my hook link's going to attach to that swivel there, and then about 3.5 foot 80-pound rig body, another bead, another swivel. So effectively that is going to be running freely on the line like a running ledger. The beauty of that is it protects the bait from the cast, plus the fact if you wanted to use something like hooking a ragworm through just the head on a smaller hook, perfect. It's almost impossible to chuck a head hooked ragworm out on a standard rig because it'll just rip off with the force of it in the water. So the little slots situated at the front of the bait capsule, as on impact with the water, it forces jets of water into the tube. Whatever bait you've got in there is then pushed out and is released freely, and you're then fishing a long hook link on what is effectively a running ledger rig. So I'm going to give that a try and see what happens. I'm going to fish it against my normal standard pulley rig, I suppose. I'll put the same baits and the same hooking arrangement on, just see if it makes any difference. Okay, there's the two baits baited up. On the left you've got the capsule, and in there you've got a herring, and on the right hand rod it's a pulley pennel with a single hook, and that again is baited with herring. They're both 5 ounce, so the test should be fair. I'm going to stick to the same baits on both rods each time. Next night it'll be a prawn and then maybe a crab. We'll see what happens. Let's get them two cast out now. Right, that's both the rods out. That capsule went out nice and streamlined and smooth. Both the reels are now set on the ratchet. And while they're out soaking, I shall now start preparing another couple of baits ready for when they come in. Right, so that's the first two casts out now. They're both fishing a strip of herring. Capsule on the left hand rod and pulley pennel on the right. Both seem to be holding nicely on 5 ounces. It's just coming up to 20 to 4, so it's saying I've got 3 hours and 52 minutes to low water. So the next two baits I'm going to now get ready are two little mini squids, and I'll mount them on hook links that I can just literally clip straight on as soon as the other rigs come in. And while those baits are soaking, I'll just have a quick brief run through what you can expect to catch here. Well, obviously when I started fishing this coastline, I don't know, 20 plus years ago, if you ever wanted to catch a ray, this was always the place to come, and it's no different now. You still do get a lot of rays off here. You can also expect this time of year, so we're moving into mid-May, you're obviously going to get dogfish, and I would have thought the odd flatfish. You're definitely going to get bass along here when the conditions may be a little bit rougher. So again, this time of the year you can also expect the smooth hounds to make an appearance at some point. They get them all along this coast right the way through, Felixstowe right the way around and up to the Norfolk coast, so there's no reason why you shouldn't get smooth hounds here. That's the reason I've actually set the ratchets on my reels, just in case. Not expecting to catch one on herring, but when we put squid baits out and maybe king prawn baits out later on, I would like to think that if a smoothhound's out there, I'll pick one of those two baits up. I'm going to get the first capsule cast rod in now. Just check that everything released okay. I've got a new hook link here ready to go. And what I've actually done is tied a slightly thinner hook link and slightly longer. So it's a 30 pound now instead of a 40, and it's probably 4.5 foot long. Well, that's good to see. Everything had released and the bait is absolutely in perfect condition still, unfortunately, but it just shows you getting that bait out there like in the capsule has protected it, and that's been fishing. I'm going to get that changed over now. Yeah, so even that bigger size actually flies out like a bullet. It's nice and aerodynamic, and you can actually see the bait still intact inside the capsule before it hits the water. Yeah, I can see that being useful for several different applications. If trying to fish soft baits, as I said before, ragworm hooked just through the head would be the most natural thing on the seabed with just a single hook. That would be the ideal way to get it out there. Next time I try for a bass, I'll give that a go. And I've also noticed that the beach is now cleared out. I'm the only one here, so I would have thought there would have been a few will turn up later on once they finish work. Very rare to come down here and see no one here. It may also be people who like to come down and fish the tide up and down like I was originally going to. So another definite positive for the bait capsule is as I was bringing it in, obviously because of the solid sides of the capsule, it aquaplaned up onto the top, so I could see it came up quite a way out, which if you're trying to avoid rough ground etc, I should imagine that would be a bonus. But then again, I think fishing that type of thing over rough ground, you're going to expect some heavy losses, I would have thought. But yeah, definitely aquaplaned up to the top. unfortunately both baits come back completely as they went out, so not showing much signs of anything at the moment. We shall carry on. I can fish till about, say, 8 o'clock at the latest, so maybe if the sun dips down a bit, it's not so bright, you might have a better chance, who knows. So I've got a whole king prawn in the capsule that went out, and I've just baited the right hand rod now with a herring, just trying to mix it up a bit, trying to find out if they're going to take any particular bait. At the moment it's none. Very quiet on the fish front. Baits are coming back literally as they went out. Madam's had her tea, she's now having a little bit of last minute sun. I reckon she'll creep in here in a minute, get on her blanket once that sun's gone round a bit. So going back to the capsule sizes, I've had a little fiddle around with my hooks and bits and pieces, so what I've worked out is in the match size one, that's one on the left, hook size is up to about 1/0, fit in there perfectly, and on the standard size one, the bigger one, I've only got 4/0 hooks here and they fit in there comfortably as well. So smaller match size baits in the little one, hence it's called the match, and in the standard size one up to 4/0, which is plenty big enough. Well, it's just gone 6 PM and still nothing to report. I've been sort of rotating through the baits every 20 minutes and they've been coming back literally untouched. I've got a dog down here bored because she's had no fish to sniff and lick round, and she's wondering what's going on. So I'll give it an hour and a half the other way just in case it does switch on. Didn't have high expectations today, to be honest with you, on the way here with this weather. We always got to have an excuse, but in this case it's never brilliant. Let's give this another bait change. It's been 15 minutes since that's been out. Not much tide pull whatsoever today. That's almost staying straight out. The lines exactly where they've been put. Not a sign of a fish at all. We've got about an hour and a half to go, so I'll keep doing them every 15 minutes now, just to see if I can't snare something. Dog's getting very impatient now. She normally has a fish to sniff by now. Right, again, it's come in virtually as it went out. So, quick bait change. I have to keep an eye on these when she's with me, because I drop the trace on the floor and she's got her eyes on that straight away. I was to forget for a few seconds, she'd be on that. Yeah. Baited trace on already, ready to go. just going to lay it back on the beach behind me and thump it overhead as I normally do. Thump. Set the ratchet. And collect my trace, most importantly. Yeah, really weird. I thought I'd have had at least a dogfish or something, or dare I say even a whiting, but no signs of anything. Well, unfortunately it looks like it's going to be a blank today. It's now just gone 7:30. Tide's now just about to turn and come on the flood. I'm tempted to give it another hour, but I think it possibly may change when it gets dark. I don't think nothing's going to happen now till it gets dark. I've not had a single touch. In fact, my baits have come back as good as they went out most of the afternoon. So I think I'm going to draw a line under that now and still have a slow pack up. It's been an absolutely glorious afternoon stroke evening. It's just cooled down nice now, so it should be a nice pleasant drive home, and hopefully with less traffic. Yeah, so unfortunately no fish today, but that's sometimes the way. You can't always catch, but I hope you've sort of got the gist of the place, the layout, the parking. Yeah. So thank you very much for everyone who's watched, and also all the new subscribers. No doubt I'll be on the beach again next week somewhere. This will definitely be revisited in better conditions, and hopefully next time we'll have a fish or two out.